Good morning, everybody. So, it's nice and early in the morning, and I'm up. And I'm not up because I was forced to get up, and I'm not up because I had troubled sleep. I'm up because I wanted to get up, and I woke up naturally at about 3:30. So I got up, and I've come downstairs and I've done some yoga, had some breakfast, sipped a cup of coffee and listened to some videos or lectures on various things. Jungian alchemy and people describing what's going on in the cities and towns and things where people are queuing up to get back to Primark, and what these places are implementing, these retail places are implementing to protect their clientele, their clients and their people against the flu, the sea flu. It's absolutely fascinating, really. Look, I'm baffled by the whole situation. Not that I'm not grateful of this time to spend with my daughter and spend at home and spend with my family. Being here has been so wonderful in a way. It's been really pleasant just to be at home. And as you've seen, there's been a couple of days where I felt quite frustrated, and they're normally days where I've actually engaged with the narrative, really. Like, it's where I've woken up and I've gone and checked the news, and I've done that several times in the day, and I've tried to find out what's going on, and just left the whole situation by feeling absolutely baffled and confused, because I'm no clearer, because the way information is presented online and where articles are written, in school I was always taught that you put like the title, and one of the most essential things you put at the top of the document, the top of the report, easy to find, is a date to show when it was created, to give it some context within history. And I find now that when I'm looking for stories and looking for information, even like the weather report or like a Met Office warning for like thunderstorms, thunderstorms are coming, and it's come up on my Google feed. I click on it and it tells me that was for 4 days ago, when I find the eventual date hidden in the mass of texts. But what information is out there is so contradictory, and is so non-linear in its presentation. It's all kinds of people saying all kinds of different things, and there is no set rule. It's a global pandemic. There should be global similarities between restrictions, you would assume, but there aren't. There would be global reporting, but there isn't. There's reporting on places where they're really suffering, and there's very little reports on the places where there's not suffering. Japan, for example. Sweden, again, another one. And when they talk about America and having a high death rate, the percentage of that death rate that related to coronavirus comes from two states. One of them is New York, one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Oh, I have got a very happy doggy here though. Look at that happy boy. He's happy. He came down with me this morning. I just slept on the sofa while I did my yoga. He's a very happy boy having his tummy scratched. I watched a David Icke interview with a channel called London Real. It used to be a channel called London Real, and it's all been banned from YouTube for violation of terms of service. Because apparently they're giving out phony medical advice. But they will allow any form of, I don't know, dietary information on YouTube. They will allow any information on supplements, and they will allow any information on exercise and all those kind of things from non-trained medical professionals telling you this is the way to get fit, this is the way to get healthy, this is the diet for you, this is the best diet for you. And many of those people, in fact most of those people, I would take a guess, had maybe when they started they didn't have anything, and they may have taken some sort of action to become qualified, but a lot of it is unsubstantiated, just nonsense basically. You know, collaborating, making mismatch diets and mismatch exercise plans, and just like I did. You know, I did a video on how I stretch. Seems to work for me, but I wouldn't sell it as a product for somebody else to use. My contention probably, get your butt out of the way. Lay down. Great dope. I think it's a crazy world where you watch a David Icke interview and it starts making sense. I mean, there's bits that are unsubstantiated in his videos. Like he says they haven't identified corona. They've genetically sequenced it. But I think what his point was in his previous interviews with London Real, not the most recent one, was that when they're testing for corona, they're not sequencing the DNA for it. They're just testing for a certain sequence, but that certain sequence can appear within masses of genetic material. I think the thing is, like, the way I see it is that I can only go with what I feel is right myself. And if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. And I've got very limited time to spend in this flesh sack. I'd very much like to make the most of it, really. And by making the most of it, I mean experiencing the world around me. And from that stems the idea of experiencing the natural world around me, or as close as I can get back to nature, as close as I can get back to my base needs, stripping off the layers of things that say you need this, you need this, you need this. Now, I can't do it perfectly, and I can't do it very well because my psychology is it's been so warped through all my entire life to want to be told that it wants these things, and I see it in myself. I see the craving for materialistic things. And I saw the craving for having a home, and I've seen the craving for, all the different things throughout my life that I've strived for, that seemed like signifiers of completeness, the thing that would make you happy, the thing that would bring you peace. And more, I find I want for less and less.